you wanted the best, you've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. It's Voss here from TheChrisVossShow.com. Ladies and gentlemen, there are things that makes official. Welcome to the big show. As always, the Chris Voss Show. Family loves you because you're here learning, growing, learning stuff, getting to know yourself better, getting to know life better, and making your life better. And that's what we do all here. So refer the show to your family, friends, and relatives. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Facebook.com/Chris Voss, YouTube.com/Chris Voss, and all those crazy places on the internet. Opinions expressed by guests on the podcast are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the host or the Chris Voss Show. Some guests of the show may be advertising on the podcast, but it is not an endorsement or review of any kind. Today's featured author comes to us from bookstolifemarketing.co.uk. With expert publishing to strategic marketing, they help authors reach their audience and maximize their book's success. Today we're talking to this wonderful two authors about their book that came out January 28th, 2025, which is 2 days past my birthday. Or no, hold on. Yeah, 2 days past my birthday. So it is entitled... What was that about? It was entitled Only So Many Shopping Days Till Christmas, the ultimate guidebook on how to have a good time before you go, January 28th, 2025. Jane Grecsek and Haley Grecsek joining us on the show. We're going to be talking about their book, their insights, and everything else. Welcome to the show, ladies. How are you?
Good. Thank you for the invitation.
Thanks for coming. We really appreciate it. Give us your .coms, any plugs. Where do you want people to find out more about you on the interwebs?
Yeah, so people can find me on Instagram at Haley Grecsek. I'm also on TikTok too, and then you can buy our book across Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
And Jane, anything from you?
Well, I'm a commercial photographer and with my daughter for 15 years, but I've done it for 30 years. Oh. So you just use my name and it'll come up under photography.
There you go. Photography is a beautiful thing, capturing life's moments and people being people. So give us a little bit of background on both you guys. I'm sorry. Let's lead off with a 30,000 overview. What's inside the new book?
So basically,
I'll let you guys
the book is about. It's called Only So Many Shopping Days Till Christmas, and like you said, we wrote it last year. First time authors, which was wild. We had no idea how to write a book, how the process worked or anything. And basically the book is about how to have a good time before you go. But this isn't your everyday self-help book. It's brutally truthful and it's intertwined with humor. And I mean, you open up the first chapter and you'll understand what I'm talking about, but it's the truth that meets, it meets people where they are, and it gives people ideas on how to live their life differently, coming from someone who has experienced so much trial with aging and getting older and just like the everyday trials that people go through. So it's just it's a self-help book, but it's nothing like anyone's really ever read before.
Jane?
And, the interesting part is it's not about aging. It's about living. And I think the charm of what we did was that Haley's 22, and so there is a 60-year age difference between us.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so I think what's really cool, it's intergenerational. We think it's a masterpiece because who has an age difference like that? Who can put together a book like this from where she sees it, from where I see it? It turned out to be a book about living And it was a spin-off off of a movie that I saw with Jack Nicholson and Shirley MacLaine. So the movie's called Evening Star. And in the book, Shirley MacLaine is not happy. She's not happy with her love life, with her family, really not happy with anything. And so Jack Nicholson is the old boyfriend. So one day he picks her up in his convertible, takes her down to the beach, does 100 miles an hour on the beach, and stops the car. And only he can do this because he is as smooth as silk. So he takes his arm and puts it around her and says, there's only so many days till Christmas, meaning that Christmas was heaven. So that's how the book got its title. And ironically, it has nothing to do with Christmas, but here we are in the Christmas season. And so I said to Haley, why not? We'll just go with it as a must read for Christmas because it's got the same message.
Yeah. And it sounds like it'd make a great gift for anybody of all ages then.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it came out of the proponent from a line from a Jack Nicholson movie. That's awesome. He has some of the greatest lines, really.
Oh, God. Nobody can deliver the way he delivers. You know, he's not like the sexiest man in the world. And
not
he's
anymore.
not like... Right?
I think maybe he used to be when he was young, maybe, wasn't he? I don't know, I remember.
But he, no matter what he does, oh my God, smooth as silk, smooth.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched some of the background on some of the ad libs he does in movies and improv, and it's just
but no matter what role he plays, he's hot.
Yeah, I mean, he's and he comes up with some wild stuff on his own. He picks characters. So only so many shopping days till Christmas, and now you have a book that would make a great shopping gift. So a bit of tongue in cheek there. I like it. And so the ultimate guidebook on how to have a good time before you go. Why is it important to try and make sure you have a good time? Like, why can't we just be miserable until the end and just die in the fetal position?
I think funny you should say that because like someone did a poll, I don't know which channel, CBS, NBC, that said 50% of the people living in the U.S. are depressed. And but I think that's, because of too much information, right, Haley? I mean, no matter which way you turn, we're too much information. And people, I think, really have forgotten how to laugh. But we did this book using laughter and comedy as a performance to get the message across. Because, you can't write a book and expect people to do what you're suggesting. You have to team it up with humor and get the humor to take the message.
The humor is a great way to deliver messages like this. And would you say there maybe how are the stories in it that are shaped? Is it things from your guys' life and experience or other people you knew? Who are some of the settings of the stories that are in there? Are they maybe parables or?
Yeah, so actually we purposely outlined the book. So if you could open up any chapter and you don't have to read the chapter before to understand what's going on. Every chapter is a different message. And the way this book kind of came about was I was, a senior at Clemson University. And she sent me this one page, just one chapter. And it was probably the funniest thing I've ever read. It was just the honest, raw truth, like truly how I call her my sis, like how she speaks is how she writes. And that means like nothing is holding back. There's profanity put in there. There is just, it is absolutely hilarious. Like it's like I'm talking to her on the page. And that's how the chapters are kind of outlined. Like it starts with the humor, like how she sees things and what she's experienced. But then how like we work so well together because the back half of that chapter is the truth. It's meeting people where they are and like, okay, like, yeah, I know like this, like, for example, one of the chapters is about like aging and what happens to your body when that happens. And it meets people where they are, but it gives people, okay, like, yeah, that's the truth. But like, this is how you're going to live your life differently because of it. And I think it just gives people like the humor, but also like the honest truth. And I think people love hearing that because it's authentic and I don't know, it's not fluff, you know, it's right to the point.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's the gal on the cover? We were talking about that pre-show. There's a little old lady on a ship and she's got her life vest jacket on. She looks like she's cruising or touring. What was is that anyone in particular? I'm sure people will have that question.
No one in particular. I mean, Cece, you could probably speak on this too, but I think she represents everyday people. You look at her and you know she probably should not be on that boat. Like, why is she's not dressed for it? She's got a life jacket on, but there's just something in her face that's like, I'm ready to take on what's ever about to come my way. And that's kind of like, it makes you laugh. It makes you stop.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to enjoy whatever happens. She looks like my grandmother, Naomi, my grandmother. She does. I almost exactly. It's kind of funny. I mean, it's not a very, it's a blown out picture, but yeah, it's.
I think it says it. I mean, that's not the first cover. Haley and I have been through a lot of covers.
Okay.
And one first cover was a little ethereal. Next cover was too many stars and lights, and it didn't get the message across. But clearly, when you see her, you know she's thinking. And this book is about changing your life, no matter what age you are. And just as a safety, she puts the vest on in case things don't work.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's safety first. I like this gal. She's smart. It's always, especially when you're older, safety first, right? Hey, you bend at the knees, not at the back, right? You know, we've all seen that movie. Been to my hernia surgeries. The you know, that is one thing about getting old. You know, some people, I don't know, I don't want to put on that people have this belief, but you know, some people believe that as you get older, you should take it more easy. You should just, I don't know, go sit in your lazy boy recliner like people kind of used to do, and keep smoking those cool menthol cigarettes. And I'm trying to paint a 70s picture of lazy boy recliners and console TVs. You know, you just watch, I don't know, Maury and I don't know, whatever other game show is going on, Bob Barker, who I grew up with, Bob Barker, and you just that's the way you go out. But you guys are suggesting doing something different.
I think one of the things you're mentioning, the 70s. So back in the 50s, there was a real estate investor. And so he launched Sun City in Arizona. And and that's where the term the golden years came from. Oh. He was part owner of the Yankees. I don't remember his name, but I do remember reading this. And so they put a tag on there because they wanted to get people, senior citizen age starts at 51, and they wanted to get people there. And that's where the golden years phrase came from. And yeah, so he was a little bit of a lunatic because there isn't really the golden years are full of surprises.
They are. Hey. Most of them are. I think I pulled my knee out. No, I'm just kidding. Haley, you have any thoughts on that question?
Yeah, I mean, just like bouncing off of her, like how she said so much as like as you get older is so unexpected. And I feel like just like hone in on this point, like this book is not just about aging. Like it's so much, it's just about all the trials people go through. Like even like writing this book as like a 22-year-old, like my mindset has changed, and like I've experienced things that, you know, not a lot of 22-year-olds have at this point in their life. And it just doesn't represent aging, but it's like so much more than that, like what people go through. And that's why I feel like the golden years, like, I don't know, it doesn't really apply. I feel like it's more than that. And it's whatever age, like you're going to go through so many hard things and you just have to learn to cope with it. And I think it's your mindset, you know, like people lack the mindset these days to, like you said, like sit on their couch or a recliner and be like, oh, my life sucks, you know, but why don't you go do something about it, you know?
Yeah, go do something about it. You know, do not go into that good night gently, as the poem used to say.
I love that.
And I think that's important. When I was Haley's age, you feel immortal. I mean, at least I did. And I think a lot of people do. You feel immortal. You feel unbreakable. You feel like you can take on the world. You wake up every day with all that collagen in your system, and all that tight skin and tissue, and everything works, and your knees hold up and your back holds. But no one tells you that getting old is you kind of like. I used to see people that were in decline, and I'd be like, oh, about 65, 70, your body goes to shit, everything goes to shit. I can say that because I'm almost 60. And that's when it gets bad. But no, it gets bad about 40.
And you're right, because Haley, I mean, we've had this discussion, and she said to me, I mean, the best line in the whole book is the ending line from Haley when she puts down the book changed her life. Because here's the deal. At 22, she knows what's coming. And we talk about this because you know what? Then you're 32, then you're 42, you're 52, you're 62. But if you take this book to heart, this thing that we've done, then that's when you change your life. That's when you move into the right position. You don't wait until it's too late. You don't wait. The balls come in, you bat them out. The balls come in, you bat them out. Then one day you say, what the F? That's too many balls.
Yeah.
Hey, that's how fast it happens.
Yeah, it is. It does go fast. I mean, you start out when you're about Haley's age, and you get a whole day, and you look at it and you go, oh my God, what am I gonna? There's like a whole 24 hours here. Now, you and I probably wake up, Jane, where we wake up, and then the next 5 minutes later we're crawling into bed, going, where did this day go? What happened?
Yeah, but thank God we wake up, all right?
That's true. That's the good part. Yeah, as long as we wake up, that's a day above ground. But, this is something I espouse to my young nephew, and I like that you guys have written a book to this, because one of the things I remind him and my niece, I wrote them this big, long thing they probably never read when they graduated high school. And it was basically things I wish someone would have told me when I graduated high school. And a lot of it was, take time to look around, take time to enjoy the ride. Because so many people, they graduate high school, maybe they run into a career, or they think they're running into a career, and maybe it ends up something they didn't want. Or same thing with a marriage, they go right into raising the kids. And sometimes people don't really even spend time discovering who they are, what they like, or what they might like. They're just kind of getting locked into the plans that society and life gives us. And you don't take the time to look around. Sometimes you don't get the time to take space and go, where am I? Am I enjoying this? Am I having a good time? Am I learning and growing? Am I, what am I doing with my life? And so I told him, I says, take time to look around, enjoy the ride. One of the hardest things for me to learn was it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Because I was really big in, goal setting, achieving goals and all that crap. And while those are good, I didn't have a goal set that said, check some things off your bucket list. There's a lot of things that I would like to do on my bucket list that I can't do anymore because, it's going to wrench my back, or it's going to pull out this knee, or blow out this hernia again I had fixed. There's certain things I just can't do anymore. And I have to accept that because my body will just not do it. And so the times to have done some of those things that were crazy and wild and maybe fun and create some great memories are lost to me, where if I'd done them when I was youthful and I was probably more inclined to do them, I would have gotten them in my bank of experience. And, as I age, some of the crazy and fun stuff that I've done in my life that I really can't do or don't want to do anymore, I have those beautiful memories to fall back on. I go, hey, I did that. That was really cool. But man, if you live your whole life and you don't take control of what you want to do and how you want to do it, and enjoying the sights and the sounds as you go by, it goes by you real fast. And then you're like, what the hell happened? What did I achieve? Those are my thoughts. What do you ladies think?
Yeah, I just feel like it's what a shame it would be if you look back on your life one day and you didn't do the things you wanted to do. One, because you were so stuck on another person's timeline or what other people would think or say. Like, what a shame it would be if you didn't get to do the things you did because you were living out of fear. You were like, oh, I have time to do it. Like, I think it's a wake-up call for people to start living by your own timeline and on your own timeline and not the timeline people expect you to be on.
Yeah. And that happens a lot. Jane, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and this brings us to the point about the book, because we pick things in the book that when Haley and I were writing it, we're like, oh God, how are we going to get this message across? And so familiarity works with people. If they know the subject and the topic, you can kind of change the goal. So a couple of the chapters that we spoke about included world people like Elizabeth, President Bush, and a wonderful chapter about nobody puts a baby in the corner, because these are things that people can relate to. So we put that up forward, and then we changed the goal a little bit in there. But Chris, you were just talking about physically not being able to do things. The charm of this book is that you can do stupid, crazy, fabulous, staggering things. If you read this book, mentally, you can make a move. You can still make a move mentally. But, people are so, they follow the rules and they follow the book. And I think it's hard to move people out of what they think they've grown into and what is right. But Haley and I have always said two things about this book. One, we had an outrageous time, and we don't care if we don't sell the book. But we've changed our minds since then, so maybe we care that we do sell the book. And the other thing is that there's an old saying that if you help one person, you help the world. So the goal of this book, Haley, is for just one person to try one thing, and we've done it.
And people should try multiple things, right? Yeah. Do you believe in a bucket list? Do you guys talk about that in the book at all? Some people have those.
I feel like our book is the ultimate bucket list. I mean, there are some wild things in this book, like rent a Lamborghini and drive around in a really like crazy things like that you would never think of doing. But I think it's funny when you read it, but it really gets you thinking, like, what are the things that I want to do with my life, and it might be crazy to some people, but hey, I mean, you have to make your own memories and experiences because life's too short.
Yeah, life is too short, and it goes by so fast. I mean, now, I'm a photographer as well. I'm just an amateur, but one of the things I really like about photography is I go out on day jaunts where I'll spend, usually Saturday, I go wander downtown of a city, and I just randomly let serendipity take me places and look for things. And, I'm just constantly looking around, capture the moment. And I really enjoy it because it slows down time for me. And what happens, Haley, as you grow older is there's so much time that you've been through. Time moves really fast because you have kind of a weird perception of it. In time, you probably heard people tell you that as you get older, it moves way faster. And when you've got, kids and marriage and or for me, multiple companies and businesses and things you're doing, it moves even faster because your plate's full every day as soon as you wake up, and you're going to try and, sustain all the plate spinning. But as you get older, the time just moves faster. It just your perception of time changes. And so it gets harder to get stuff done. It gets harder to look around. It gets harder to slow that time down. And so one of the things I really like is, people talk about being present. I don't know if you talk about that in the book, but being present was a big fight for me because I was so engaged in the machinery of my life. I wasn't being present anymore. Like I would sit and pet my dogs or try and, spend quality time with them or with relatives, people I loved in my family. And I would just be sitting there realizing that I was in another place the whole time I was with them. I was thinking about my business or problems I had or whatever. And I wasn't present. And so photography helps me be present. It helps slow down that time because I'm crawling through time looking for moments and things to happen. And I think that's kind of maybe a healthy way to look at life. You're looking at life, trying to be present, trying to be awake, trying to be aware. Because otherwise, you're just going to get dragged. Life will just drag you. And you'll just wake up one day and go, where'd all those decades go? Right? Yeah.
I feel like it goes off of it because, like so many people these days, you wake up, you drive to work, you come home, dinner, bed, maybe put the kids to bed, whatever. And then you do it all over again. And sometimes, you know, for me, like I feel like I live the same day every day sometimes. And sometimes I have to step back and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, it's already Friday. Like, it was just Monday. Like, what did I do with my time this week? And it just really makes you think about like being present, even if that's like taking the time to call someone or do something different every single day. So you're not living this mundane life every single day and pushing yourself to stay curious and switch things up, take a different route to work or buy someone coffee or do something different every day. So you're always challenging yourself. And I think that also helps me stay present and also just staying off of social media. I feel like these days it's literally, you can get wrapped in this wormhole and I mean, doom scrolling, like
doom scrolling.
Yeah, it's crazy, especially like with, you know, people my age. It's such a new age we live in. And I think mastering the ability to unplug from that and step away from that and be so present with what's in front of you, with your family, like be present at dinner. Like don't be so caught up in worrying about all the other million things on your to-do list and just like really like practice being present. I think that's a great message.
A lot of things you worry about in life don't ever end up happening anyway. You know, that's an important thing about focusing on presence. Your thoughts, Jane?
Yeah, I mean, Haley just touched on our two favorite words of the book, which is staggering generosity. We have a section on there because it's so easy and those two words could mean so much. But when you say staggering generosity, you don't have to like be super rich. You know, whatever level you are in life, you can do something that changes somebody's life. I mean, I had an instance once. And so, you know, every day I'm just so grateful for everything. I kiss the ground I walk on because I come across so many things that we put in the book that are real. So one time I was in the supermarket and there was a woman in front of me and she had, oh my God, maybe 20 cans of cat food. And then she had a box of strawberries. And so I heard her tell the woman, could you ring up the cat food and see what my bill is? So she rang up the cat food. And then she said to the woman, thank you very much, but I'm going to put the strawberries back. And then I was right behind her and I said, whoa, wait a second. Those strawberries look really good. And I said, how about this? How about I get you the strawberries and kind of as something I want to do? And she said, I don't know you and I can't pay you back. Yeah, she was pretty honest and upfront. And I said to her, hey, someday you're going to buy somebody's strawberries. And we laughed about it and she took them. But what a lesson that taught me. Because things are so difficult for people. Things are so hard at any level. They're hard.
Yeah,
they're
most definitely.
Hard. Yeah.
And I love the attitude you guys convey in the book about this. Tell us a little bit about each of yourselves. Give us a bit of bio on both yourselves. What was your upbringing and influence, and when did you know you wanted to write this, and how did it come together?
Yeah, so I can kind of start. So I'm 22, and I grew up in New Jersey, and we grew up at our family cabin in upstate New York, which is where the book was written. And this book kind of came about. I was a senior in college, and we wrote this book in one summer. It was the summer before I moved out to Austin, Texas, which is where I am now, right after college. And I mean, we wrote it in one summer, and I put everything aside and I was just so present and we did the thing. And I never thought I would write a book before I was 22, which is really cool. But to do that with like my grandma has been literally the best experience, and I'm so grateful for it.
Yeah. Good family building thing. Jane?
Let's see. I've been fortunate. I came from a great family, and I have a family now. I have 14 grandchildren, of which
Wow.
of which Haley is one, and 13 other marvelous kids. And so they're great kids. What you see is what you get. And so, you've done a good job. And so I was in marketing, but then I went to photography, which it turned out to be the love of my life, because all you need in life, Chris, is one good picture.
There you go.
Or one good thing. And and photography goes on forever. So I loved hearing what you spoke about.
Cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's good to know, because I'm still looking for that one good picture.
Well, I
always will.
Do you shoot in black and white? I hope it's black and white.
I do. Yeah. I do a lot of street. Right. I love street photography. I love black and white. I think about 50% of my portfolio is black and white. It ends up
because black and white is so forgiving.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it is, huh? To me, I have a harder time editing in black and white, because trying to get the tones. There's so many different shades and tones of black and white that you can utilize. And so sometimes just trying to get the right setting of the black and white. But yeah, it is forgiving in a lot of ways. And then also, you and I grew up in the age of black and white movies and TV, I assume. And so I've learned to see the use of color and light that was ingrained in me as a child, and how they would use it. One of my favorite stars is Humphrey Bogart. And, you when you watch those old movies, they didn't have a lot to work with color-wise. And so they made it up with black and white. And in fact, last night I sat and joined a bunch of Facebook groups for black and white street photography, because I needed to have more ideas in my portfolio. But yeah, usually when I tromp around downtown, there's a lot of black and white. And I love it. But it's such a challenge to get the lighting right, the shade of.
Do you shoot film? That's the way to do it.
No, I'm sure it is. I'm just lazy. I used to shoot film back in the day, but now I'm just lazy.
See, that's the combination, is what you just mentioned: use of light and film. And step aside, you got it.
Yeah, I mean, I when I was in high school, we used to do all that photography lab work. With the red light and the fluids and stuff, and that was a lot of work. I've met some people recently that they both told me that they do film, and I met them on the street, and I was like, hey, you're cameraman. You go, hey, what are you using there? And I've met two people recently. They're doing film, and there's actually a shop by a studio that I shoot at that they sell film. Real film, and process the film. It's pretty crazy. It's just like the old days of Photomat. But to me, it's capturing those moments. One of my big fears in life is I've lived a pretty interesting, unique life, and trying to capture those moments so that you remember them. And so I have these huge archival libraries of my life where I go back and I'll see stuff and be like, I forgot I did that. That was really cool. Wow. Oh, wow, I dated that one person. I forgot about that relationship. Mm-hmm. You live a long life, and if you're busy enough, it's hard. You don't have time to just sit around and go, is there something I did that I forgot? And so being able to go through some of the archives and trickle those memories, and you're just like, wow. Because it does seem like it goes fast, but there's a lot of stuff that you experience and goes by you, and it's kind of nice to reminisce about those things. One of my biggest fears is that I would get, it's not a fear. It is what it is, whatever happens. But one of the things that I think would suck, let's put it that way, is if I ever got Alzheimer's, because I would forget all these wonderful memories I built and everything else. But the beauty is I experienced them. So maybe my mind can take that away from me, but you can't take it away from me. I don't know. Maybe I'll remember stuff still in some way or another. Or if you play a certain song, I'll remember stuff. Alzheimer's patients tend to do that. But yeah, enjoy your life now while you can. It's like I told my niece and my nephew, take time to look around. It goes fast. Enjoy the ride. And like I say, the hard thing for me was for me, it was always about the destination, not the journey. I hated the fucking journey because I'm like, I hate this fucking journey shit. I hate going through, hell to get to heaven, yada, yada, yada. And then, enough people told me, and that, Chris, it's about the journey, not the destination. Because a lot of times you don't ever really get to the destination, or at least the destination you think you want. You get you don't get what you need. You get what you, what is it? You don't get what you want. You get what you need. The Rolling Stones song. So, ladies, final thoughts as we go out. Tell people how they can pick up the book and all that good stuff, et cetera, and pitch them out.
Yeah, so people can buy the book. We're across Amazon and Barnes and Noble. You can also go to bookbaby.com, and there's a bunch of ways you can buy it there. You can also follow me on my socials. I will be sharing the book more and just more about like what Jane and I are doing as we get together. It's kind of hard because I'm in Texas and she's in Jersey, but when we do get together, we will definitely be talking about the book and everything. So, yeah.
A great book you can give away at Christmas. Jane, your final thoughts and pitch out to people?
Oh gosh, you just have to listen. Life is hard. I've had a head-on collision, and I've had a rare disease that's fatal, and I've come out of both of them. And I think you got to learn to kiss the ground you walk on. You have to learn to go outside the box. You have to learn to go outside the box and try things and do things. And you know what? Forget about leaving your money. Think about leaving something tangible. Because you know what? You don't get to see you leave the money. You miss the joy of leaving something and going through the process of what you've done. You have to reward yourself. You got to change it up a little bit. You saved it. It's yours. Go spend it. Go
spend it.
Go.
Haley, Jane's trying to tell you that there's nothing in the will left. So just so you're aware of what's going on there. But, a lot of people are that way. My mom will talk to me about things and what she spends money on. I'm like, it's your money, Mom. It's your life. You go enjoy it. Don't worry about me. I think one of my stepmother, she's always, talking about what she wants to leave us. And I'm like, don't. I'm really not worried about that. I really don't like those conversations. They're pretty macabre. What am I going to do after you die? I mean, just come on, man. Let's enjoy while you're alive. And go spend all the money. Fuck it. You earned it. I don't care. I'm a person that's made their money in their life. So, I knock on wood, hopefully will, I don't plan on retiring till 7 years after I die. So I love building businesses and making companies. And fortunately I can do that till I'm old and decrepit. Wait, I'm old and decrepit now. Anyway, it's too much partying of living in Vegas for 20 years. So yeah, thinking outside the box, I did that with my life. I at 22, I got a vasectomy. I decided probably wasn't ever going to get married. Probably wasn't ever going to have kids. And I lived a different life than most men do. And I've had a great fucking time. In fact, a lot of men have said to me, I didn't know there was something outside of the box that society gave. I didn't know you could just go do that. Most men wait till they're in their midlife crisis. I think a lot of people do. They have a midlife crisis where they wake up and they realize they've been living someone else's life and someone else's game plan. And I got to tell you, my life has been wonderful. And a lot of men tell me that they would have gone and done what I did if they would have had a second choice. And I'm like, you did have a choice. You chose one way. And they live beautiful lives as far as I'm concerned. To me, raising kids and being a father, that's got to be a great, stupendous thing to do and contribution to society. And hopefully they find the beauty in what they did and what they contributed. They're going to have something I don't, where, they're going to have people trying to force them into retirement homes to take all their assets. Where I won't. I don't have anybody to force me in a retirement home, except, I don't know, maybe I'll be living on the street or something. I don't know. These are jokes, folks. Anyway, I'm trying to round out positive. I'm just going negative, aren't I? Wow. Just the upside down view. So that's all the more reason we should all buy and read your guys' book.
You're going to love it. You're just going to love it.
The book is entitled, folks, Only So Many Only So Many Shopping Days Till Christmas, the ultimate guidebook on how to have a good time before you go. Out January 28th, 2025. Appreciate your day, every day, and all that good stuff. Thanks to Jane and Haley for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You gave the book a voice.
Thank you, ladies. Any .coms, too, we want to plug as we go out? Any socials or place you want people to look you up on the interwebs?
People can find my socials at Grecsek on Instagram and TikTok. A website is in the works, so hopefully we'll have that up soon. But yeah, we'll keep you guys posted.
There he goes. And look for the Chris Voss Show website. We'll have a link there when that website goes up. Thanks, ladies, for checking in with us and sharing your wonderful knowledge and great advice. Just great advice, because there's so many things I would have liked to have done in life that now I can't. I can't become an Olympian weightlifter. Evidently, they tell me. My hernia doctor says no. Anyway, but I tried there in my 50s. But, the things I learned may be better. So you learn by trying and getting outside the box. Thanks so much for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1 on the TikTokity and all those crazy places on the internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. And we'll see you guys next time. And that should have us out.